Oh my god, they all fell! Hello! Welcome to this place. It's been a hot second. It's been a minute since I've done this and I'm already sweating. You may have noticed, you may not have noticed, you might not care, it's fine. I haven't posted in like 2 years, you know? A lot of life shit happening, that's all. Nothing's changed though. I'm actually a sophomore in college now, come September, and my life is kind of in a routine that I think I can handle now. So I made a pact with my friend that I would get back on BookTube and she would make a BookTube, and that's what's happening. Ow! So what better way to make a comeback to this channel? I don't know why I'm talking like this. Then a book haul, because obviously it's been a year. I've gotten some books, and obviously I'm not going to show you every book I've gotten in a year. That's crazy. I'm going to show you the books I've gotten in the past few months, because if we're being honest here, I haven't really been reading at all, really. I'll read a book a month. The thing is, I want to read, and I really miss it. Life has been so crazy that I'm very bad at managing my time, and I'm also really bad at not feeling guilty for doing things I like, even though it's something I enjoy and it's something I like and that something that keeps me sane. I just can't justify it, which sucks. I have a lot of books here. A lot of books. So let's get into it. I think I have an unboxing in here too. I remembered I ordered off a Book Outlet forever ago, so I think I have Book Outlet books in here too. Wait a second, oh my god, there's books everywhere! An unboxing! That's so fun! I forgot I had this. I genuinely don't remember what's in here. It's been so long since I ordered this, and I kept it all in here for a book unboxing, and I totally forgot, so. We don't really stand ordering books online though, because it's not really good for the environment, and the environment's dying. This was a while ago. And I also don't go to Barnes & Noble. There we go, fun fact about me. What's changed in the past 2 years? I will never buy another book from Barnes & Noble. Ever since I worked there, and I kind of saw inside the company a little bit.
No thanks.
So let's start with the books that I got while I worked there. The only book I got while I worked there. So, at Barnes & Noble, I don't know if it's like this in every store, but in our store, in the break room, in like all of our cabinets where kitchen utensils would normally be, instead we had ARCs, because publishers just send so many ARCs to the store, and I don't really know why, because we never put them out or anything. I don't really know the business reason why. All of our ARCs are back there. You can go back there, you can read them, you can take them home, you can keep them, like, they don't really care. So I have Sadie by Courtney Summers. I got this. Please stop being a crackhead. I picked up Sadie when I was in the middle of a horrible reading slump, one of the worst I've ever had, which is funny because I worked at a bookstore and I could not read. Ow! Ow, my necklace! But when I worked at Barnes, I actually had no reception while I was there. Like, for whatever reason, I couldn't get on I couldn't even text anyone, I couldn't get on any apps, couldn't get on the internet. Like, it sucked because you worked such long shifts. So on my breaks, all I could really do was read, and I always forgot to bring a book, so I would just go in the break room and take a book. And that's how I found this one. And this is actually amazing. I'm sure you heard about it by now because at this point it's made its rounds on BookTube. It is such an amazing read. I blew through this. I kind of wish I read it on audiobook because I hear it's really good, but it got me back into the spirit of reading, so I don't really care. If you haven't heard about Sadie, it is told in a podcast form, which I've never heard of a book doing, which is so cool. So it flips chapters. One chapter is always the guy that's investigating the situation on his podcast, and the other chapter is always Sadie looking for her little sister, which is kind of what the whole podcast revolves around. Basically, Sadie's sister went missing. Sadie thinks she knows where she is, so she goes looking for her. And since she's been missing for so long and now Sadie's missing because she's looking for her, a podcast gets involved and follows them. And it's just really, really good. Such an easy read, such a fun read. I loved it. It's the only ARC I ever took. I was gonna take another book that we finally got in that I was so excited about, and then I'll show you later because I bought it. And then one of my coworkers took it, even though everyone knew I was reading it, and I'm still kind of salty about it, but it's fine. I really don't know what order to go in. I know I can group them into like BookCon, unboxing, and then everything else is kind of just a mess. So next, I'm going to go through all of the books I got at BookCon. This could literally be its own haul. So we're gonna kind of go through these a little fast. The first book I purchased at BookCon was Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. I read Sharp Objects, I read Gone Girl, or actually, okay. I read Sharp Objects, I read half of Gone Girl because I saw the movie before I read the book. And I've never done that before, actually. I've never done that. And I didn't like it. I did not like reading the book and already knowing what was going to happen. Sharp Objects, though, I feel like is kind of very you love it or you hate it. I loved Sharp Objects. It really got me back into reading for a hot second. So, I'm ready to read Dark Places. I actually think this is going to be the next book I pick up. I've really been craving some adult thrillers recently. Honestly, I don't really know what this is about. I know it is about like a Satan sacrifice and a girl who survives it or something, but the thing is with these books, I don't want to know. I don't want to know anything. I want to be totally blind. Next, my mom picked up a book for me, so it's kind of our tradition, me, one of my best friends, and my mom, every year we go to BookCon. It's always been our thing. So my mom picked up a book for me that is actually so sweet. As you may know, BookCon is in June, and June is in Pride Month. So my mom got this book for me. It's Rainbow, a first book of Pride, and I think she got it signed. It says, "Baby girl, be proud." Like, when my mom gave this to me, I started tearing up. I read it later and I just started crying. It means the world to me that she would give this to me or go out of her way to get it signed and like know that it would be special to me, and I'm gonna cherish it. So the next two books I bought are two that I have wanted for so long. I wanted to read these for years since the first one came out, and that is Truth Witch and Wind Witch by Susan Dennard. This one's shiny and this one's matte. It's kind of making me a little uncomfortable. I've been wanting to read these for a while. I've heard they're just so fun. I love YA fantasies, even if these aren't YA. I'm pretty sure they're YA. All I really know about the Truth Witch series is that it really revolves around friendship and like girl power, and that every person has a different ability, like every witch has a different witch ability. Something like that. I'm not a huge synopsis person. If you've seen my videos, you know that. I don't like synopsises. I like to not know things. So the other thing about BookCon is you will pick up some books you just don't know. One of those books for me this year was In Search of the Common Good, Christian Fidelity in a Fractured World by Jake Medor. I don't know what this is about. Then there's also Fearfully and Wonderfully, The Marvel of Bearing God's Image, updated and combined edition by Dr. Paul Brand and Philip Yancey. My one friend who this is very up his alley, he already said that he wants these and he kind of claimed them. He just keeps forgetting to take them. So they're in my book haul. I have them, but he's taking them. I don't know. These are not really my thing.
Oh!
I have two little samplers for Shout and Patron Saints of Nothing. I'm actually really excited about this. Ooh, and I'm really excited about this. I forgot what Shout was for a second. I'm really excited about both of these, so I'm keeping these, obviously. Next, I have Fort Nowhere, Vietnam by author Wiederhold. Again, this is one that just kind of got given to me at BookCon. This basically follows a man who's really interested in the Vietnam War, so he gets himself sent to this camp in Vietnam called Fort Nowhere, and he is basically the only person standing between the Vietnamese village of people and the soldiers and the evil Viet Cong. Oh, that's real. So, a historical fiction. I've never read a historical fiction about the Vietnam War, so I'm actually really excited about this. I'm really looking forward to picking it up, which is the best when that happens, when you just got given a book at BookCon you've never heard of, you weren't expecting to get, you weren't looking to get, and you're loving it. Next, I bought Ramona Blue by Julie Murphy. Again, you've probably heard about this. I've been wanting to read this for a while. It's really been on my radar, and as you can see, I'm reading it right now. I'm almost done with it, actually. Even though it doesn't really look like it, I've been speeding through this. Like, every time I open it, I'm surprised by how far along I am. I love the representation in this book. It's about a girl who is a lesbian, and she has a girlfriend, like everything. She's very secure in her sexuality, but then one of her old guy friends comes into town, and suddenly everything is just kind of like very weird in her brain about why am I attracted to him if I'm only attracted to girls. And the thing is, this hits so close to home. For me, the situation was kind of reversed, but especially for some of my friends, they went through this exact situation of, I thought I was only attracted to girls, why am I now attracted to this guy, this one guy, or like multiple, like it's something I've never seen in literature before. I've never even seen it in a movie before. I love that representation. I love being able to see that. So there's a lot of ways that I really do relate to Ramona, but there's also a lot of ways that I kind of can see more through my friends' eyes and see what they went through a few years ago. It's really good. It's a cute little contemporary too. Like, I'm really enjoying it. Another book I got at BookCon that I'm actually so excited about is The Fountains of Silence by Bridgets. I'm so excited about this book. It comes out in October of 2019, so fairly soon. It takes place in Madrid in 1957 during the height of General Francisco Franco's regime. I don't know if you know much about me. I am such a slut for historical fantasy. I definitely meant historical fiction here. But what I realized is the only historical fantasy I really read is World War II. That's it. That's all I read. I've read World War II from just about every country's perspective that was involved that you can imagine. I think every country that was involved I've read from their perspective at least once. So much World War II. I'm trying to expand my horizons a little bit. I've got the Vietnam War. I've got Madrid in 1957. Some good shit. I got another historical fiction book that takes place during like Pearl Harbor or something. It's about pilots. It's really cool. I read the first like 2 pages. It's pretty great. I forget the title, I forget the author. But I did get that one too, in case you're wondering. I also have Breaking the Silence, a novel of Spain's Civil War by Maria J. Nito. Something I don't even remember getting. It's like, I just blacked out and I have all these books that I don't know about. This is in Madrid too! So this basically follows a little girl during the Spanish Civil War. And that's about all I know about it. But again, it seems kind of cool. It's historical fiction. Like, you really, with me, you cannot go wrong. You can't sell me a bad historical fiction. Well, I mean, you can. Like, you can't sell me a historical fiction and make me not want to read it. You know what I'm saying? So, the last book I got at BookCon is A Very Large Expanse of Sea by Tahira Mafi. I'm so excited! So, this is actually the book that I was gonna take from Barnes & Noble from the back as an ARC. I read the first 2 chapters at Barnes, and then someone took it, so I had to buy it. But this is a signed first edition. Are you kidding? There's little heart and everything. She's really the love of my life. Like, you know how they always say if you could like trade lives with a person for a day, who would it be? Tahira Mafi. 100%, no doubt. I don't even have to think about it. I want to be her so bad. I love everything about her. This book culture is me going off about how much I love her. If you haven't heard about A Very Large Expanse of Sea, it's already getting nominated for awards and stuff too, which just, I'm so proud of her. But it follows a Muslim girl after 9/11 in America and basically how hard it was to live like that and everything she had to go through, and it's based off of Tahira's real life experiences. So the main character is a break dancer, like she is going through all the same things that Tahira went through as a teenager, I'm pretty sure. Like, just really good. The first 2 chapters were really good too, but I wouldn't know the rest because someone stole it. So the next book I have here is The Tattooist of Auschwitz by Heather, oh, there's a sticker over it, by Heather Morris. So this has really been making its rounds. It's turning it into a movie if it's not a movie already. Everyone was talking about it a few months ago, so I bought it. It was on sale at Target. Really excited to read it. World War II historical fiction, you know me.
Okay, so I'm really dumb. Is it still a historical fiction even though it's technically a true story? I don't know. Okay, bye.
And then my friend actually just finished it and she told me she wasn't a big fan. So I'm a little nervous. I'm still gonna read it, but I'm a little nervous. I'm a little more hesitant now. I didn't really realize it was a love story that takes place in the concentration camp. But it's also a true story, so I don't know. It basically follows a tattooist in Auschwitz who meets this girl, and then he makes it like his mission in there to marry her once they get out. And it's based off of a true story. Again, that's all I really know about it. I thought it was supposed to be amazing. She didn't really like it. I guess we'll see. Next, I have another book that my mom got for me. Like, she just surprised me with it. I don't really know where she got it. She just came home and was like, I have a book for you. Like,
Yay!
and that's The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle. Who's surprised? If you weren't aware, if you didn't know, I have a Sherlock Holmes collection. I collect any and every edition of Sherlock Holmes you can think of. Even books that aren't Sherlock Holmes but Sherlock Holmes related, retellings, anything. Books that aren't even by Sir Arthur Conan Doyle but are about the series, like anything. I believe this is my 15th edition, my 15th book I'm collecting. I've been collecting for about 5 years now. I'm always happy to add to it. So if you have any recommendations, any like super pretty covers, any old editions you found, hit a girl up. The Girl Who Drank the Moon by Kelly Barnhill. I wanted to read this for so long. I am so intrigued by this story. This is a middle grade fantasy and it follows this village that lives right on the outskirts of like this evil forest. And once a year they have to sacrifice a child, like the newest born of the year or something like that, to the forest so that the forest is kept at bay. The witch, I think it's a witch in the forest. The witch in the forest is kept at bay and doesn't hurt the village people. So our main character here is sacrificed, but instead of dying, she ends up having powers or something. Take everything I say with a grain of salt. I did read the first chapter of this and I ended up putting it down. It was in the middle of my book slump. What can I say? I'm really excited to be able to dive into it again. If I was doing the reading rush this year, it would be perfect to do. It's actually the first year since the readathon started. I'm not doing it, but I'm taking it easy on myself. You know, I'm just trying to get back into normal booktube life. Next, I have Crazy Rich Asians by Kevin Kwan. Yeah, I kind of missed the boat with this one. I have yet to read this. I know it's a movie. I think the sequel to the movie is being filmed now or something. I don't know. I have yet to read this. Everyone knows what it's about. I think I even know the whole story by this point, but I still really want to read it. I kind of always end up really liking those contemporaries that get huge and like they're blockbuster movies. Everyone's talking about them for like 2 months. Like I always end up really liking those. I don't know if you can tell, I'm kind of speeding through these a little bit. There's just so many books I'm trying to get through, okay? Next, I have a book I got for Christmas. It's July, and that's The Year of Rest and Relaxation by Otessa Moshfegh. My uncle got this book for me. Every year he gets me a new book that's like this. I don't really know what this is though. A shocking and strangely tender novel about a young woman's efforts to duck the world by embarking on an extended hibernation with the help of one of the world's psychiatrists in the annals of literature and the battery of medicines she prescribes. So there's that. The thing is, I'll never refuse a book, like any book. I'll like it. Well, that's not true. Give me a new book, I'll be happy, okay? Next, I'm so excited about the collector's edition of The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas. I'm so excited about this. My ex-boyfriend actually got it for me for Christmas. That's that word. I loved this book. I read this in like 4 hours, I think. This is the last book I read in a day. I didn't even try to read it in a day. I just couldn't put it down. It was so enveloping, the entire story. I can't believe this is a debut novel. I still can't really believe it. If you haven't read The Hate You Give, what are you doing? I recommend this to everyone. Read The Hate You Give. It is so important to read. It's so amazingly written. It's such a great way to get such an important message across. Next, I have Let That Shit Go by Monica Sweeney. So at Barnes & Noble, during closing, the last, like, I'm gonna say 20 minutes of closing, it was all the managers. Like, they would just be doing their own counts, they'd be doing their own stuff in the back, and it was so boring. There was nothing else you could pyramid stack. There was nothing else you could front face. You're also so tired, so I would kind of just walk around and read the books, try not to get caught. This was one I kept coming back to. This is one of those journaling books where you write your own stuff in it. I did start writing in it a little bit, and it was actually kind of helping. I was in a really bad place and kind of just looking for anything to help, and I really liked this. I really recommend this. It's really cute. Next, I have White Elephant by Julie Langsdorff. My friend from Barnes gave this to me. She's actually the one that I want to start a booktube channel. She gave this to me the other day because she quit after I quit. So she sent me a picture of all the arcs in the back. She's like, which ones do you want? Let's just take them. So I asked for White Elephant. I've been looking at this for a while. I think it sounds so interesting. It's one of those books that I would never really think to read unless it fell in my lap, and it fell in my lap. So it's basically about the dysfunctions of this suburbia area. I think the white elephant is a metaphor. I don't like synopsises. I'm sorry. I don't like them. I'm doing my best. Please don't hate me. Next, I have Persuasion by Jane Austen and Dante's Inferno, and these really cool, edgy, oldie looking editions. My grandmother actually sent these up to me. She has so many cute little bookstores where she lives. I love visiting her for many reasons, but because of that too. I own Persuasion in a bind up. I might own Dante's Inferno, but I also may have lost it. And I have read Dante's Inferno. I have not read Persuasion. So next, I actually have a book that's kind of personal, and it's not even technically mine, but it's kind of mine. And that is My Little Black Book by Maya. Ooh, I always say just Maya J. Maya J. Grantham. I never really say her last name. So this is actually my boyfriend's book. Like, it's his. But he kind of gave it to me, so I guess we kind of share it. I don't know. Maya is one of his good friends that he always goes to open mics with. She is so insanely talented. It's crazy. If you can purchase this, I definitely recommend it. I want to be like her when I grow up. And she's my age. Now we have a fun part. Unboxing! Book outlet! I don't remember what's in here. And I've already opened it. It's bad for the environment. I forgot it. Oh, these are cool. So I have Exit West by, oh my god, why is it written in such a weird font? This is written in a weird font too. by Mashin Hamid. It's in a weird font. I can't read. I remember Ariel Bissett talking about this and saying she thought it was going to be more fantastical than it was, and it was more contemporary, or that might be opposite. I don't remember. In a country teetering on the brink of civil war, two young people meet. Sensual, fiercely independent Nadia and gentle, restrained Sadi. I've wanted to read this for a while. I remember it came out a few years ago. Kind of made its rounds. Thought it looked interesting. Cover is gorgeous. Looking forward to it. Next I have a big boy. Oh brother. City on Fire by Garth Risk Hallberg. This is the heaviest book I've ever held. This is another historical fiction. What's new? I wanted this for so long, but when I looked it up on Goodreads, it actually had really mixed reviews, so I'm kind of nervous, but I've been so excited to read it for such a long time that I don't really care. It's so heavy. Why is it? What makes it so heavy? I think this is like 900 pages. That gives me anxiety. We're not ready for it yet. Next, I have The Crown's Game by Evelyn Skye. I got a lot of popular books that I just didn't own that I wanted in my collection, and I wanted to see if the hype lived up to it. This is another just kind of basic YA fantasy, so I'm excited to read it. I love me some YA fantasies. I heard mixed reviews on this again. I think Goodreads had it like a 3 out of 5 stars, so it'll probably be just like another YA fantasy. Excited to read it though. Next we have a book that I bought and then saw the bad reviews about. I didn't see any good reviews for this. The Hazelwood by Melissa Albert. Such a gorgeous cover. Can we just... Last time I bought a book for the gorgeous cover, I ended up making it 20 pages and then hated it. I hated it, and I don't even remember what it's called. So The Hazelwood follows a mom and a daughter who have just a lot of bad luck following them all the time, and then because of it, they're constantly moving, and then I think like one day the bad luck catches up to them, something like that. I just know everyone hates it. If you like this book, please let me know. I want some verification that it's not a waste of time to read it. I totally forgot about these books. Oh my god. I bought them at a little adorable used bookstore at the shore. I love them. So it's Sherlock Holmes. So I got volume 1 and volume 2 in these editions. You can see the price for them, but I don't want to take it off. I'm lazy. They're just in little mass market paperbacks, but they're great to add to my collection. I don't have anything like them. I don't have any mass market paperbacks of Sherlock Holmes, so I'm excited about that. That's that. So I guess now I have to try to lift all of these. Isn't that the tradition that we kind of started? That's great. This is all I'm holding. There's just too many. So thank you so much for watching. I can't wait to be back on BookTube. It's so exciting. It looks like I'm looking in the viewfinder. I'm actually looking at the storm starting behind the viewfinder. Great timing. This was a mess. I'll see you next time. Bye!